Hello, my name's Richard Wallis. I'm from Tallis, as it says there. Very corporate looking slide with my corporate tie on. We'll move away from that fairly rapidly. I'm going to be doing some live stuff, so if anybody's downloading a movie to watch in your room tonight, can you stop? Because I've rehearsed this and I can't get it below 19 minutes, so please stick with me. So, library APIs, what we're used to? Well, we're used to some obscure protocols. And if you don't think Flashlight is obscure, you're obviously librarians, but the rest of the world are obscure. And if you want some good anti-insomnia material, the manuals for these are absolutely wonderful. There's some less obscure protocols that we're starting to use. Not all library ones, but we start to open up a bit with some more friendly protocols. But all these protocols have got a shared problem. Whether they're obscure or not, they've got an insular view of the world. If you place yourself in the position of the server delivering services, you sat there saying, I've got some data. If you use the right protocol, you can request it or you can search for it, and then you can have it. Subject to licensing conditions and other issues which are subject to another talk that we can move on beyond. But if you want to mix that data with data from other sources, that's your problem. And yours, and yours, and mine, and everybody else's in this room. If you want to bring data into play with other data from other sources, the source you get it from generally doesn't help. So I want to share with you a solution. And this solution is based around the way we've implemented some APIs on the Tallis platform. Now, I'm not here to sell you the Tallis platform. If you want to be sold the Tallis platform, grab me and Rob, who sat at the back there in the bar, buy us a beer and we'll tell you all about this. I'm basing it around the Bigfoot store, which is a storage element in the Tallis platform, which is a zero setup, multi-tenant, content and metadata storage facility capable of storage and querying across very large data sets. Enough of that. You want a demo, don't you? Right. That wasn't the picture I wanted, so we will now scroll back up. No, you don't want that one. Hang on, light's gone into reverse. Come on, my 19s. Oh dear me, light's going backwards. That's the one I wanted. Right, here we go. So, you want a demo. This is the default reply you get from the query interface of the Bigfoot API. You don't give it any parameters, you don't tell it anything to do, it gives you a web page. Because it knows you are a developer. You want to know how to use it. How long did it take you to get your first data back from Amazon Web Services? 10 minutes, quarter of an hour? You had to read the instructions, you had to knock up a bit of code. Whereas in this environment, if you give it the data search from, and I'll go for a well-known search here, and it comes up with some results. You do a search, you get some data back, straight raw on the API. And that looks pretty. And that's because Internet Explorer thinks you're looking at an RSS feed. If you look at the top here, it says, you're viewing a feed. So the guys from Redmond decide it's a feed, we'll make it look pretty for you, which is absolutely no good in this environment, because I want to show you what's going on under the bonnet. So let's pick a different browser. And we'll type in a search for it, and this is what you get back. This is RSS 1.0, a standard way of transferring results around the internet that lots of software, even Internet Explorer, understands. Wow. So those that know and love RSS will see that the data is nicely held down here and it's wrapped in Dublin Core. Really wonderful. And you've got details of these particular items. I'm going to pick one when I can find it. Where is it? Have I gone too far? Yes, I probably have. I've got one that works because this show is quite short. So I'm going to pick an ISBN. Because not only can you put bibliographic information in the store, you can put holdings in the store. So if we drop the ISBN that I just found in there, we've now got a set of holdings results. And you can see from here that Lancashire County Council have got some results, rural libraries have got results, and these are all holdings that have been freely contributed to the Tallis platform by libraries in the UK. So I can see you thinking, right, make a call on the items query, get a load of results back. For every one, I'll then call the holdings API to get the holdings information. Sounds like a lot of hard work to me. So we have the ability to augment result sets. And this does what it says on the tin. Augment a search with content from this store. So we did a search earlier on. That was this one, which came back with some results for Harry Potter. So if I take the search and pop it into the parameter here, it goes off and gets some results for me. And here we go. We've got some holdings information that have been, if I can find one, associated with that bibliographic data. So for every result that came out of the bib store, it augmented it when it had got relevant information. So there's some things here called deep links. And this is using another service inside the Tallis platform. So if I copy that URL, open up another screen, press return, we'll see that we're going for a deep link straight into Lancashire's OPAC. So what that's done is enable deep linking through a directory via the API. So just augmenting the bibliographic data has given me holdings information and deep linking information into the platform. So, back to my PowerPoint. What was going on there? Well, me, as a service, was making a query across the internet. I've got to thank Rob here for this diagram. The internet's not to scale. So the query comes into a directory service that's saying, please augment these results with deep links into OPACs. And the query gets passed on to the holdings service, which is said, please augment these results with holdings information. But it then goes to the bibliographic store to get the data in the first place. So the result set cascades down the whole chain, augmenting things from place to place. Enough of diagrams, so some more demo, eh? So it's not just bibliographic and holdings data. You could handle information for book jackets. So let me gather an ISBN, which happens to be the key to this store. Press return, and here we've got image information about book jackets held against that number. So if I capture that, pop up a new window, good job I can do Control-V, there we've got the image. So it's augmenting that information, but there again, why would you want to do that for each individual result? If we go back to a result here, which was holdings being augmented around bibliographic data, if I capture that and go into the jacket images augmentation interface, press return, we'll find who's downloading the movie. Come on, oh, here we go. We've got a set of bibliographic results with image information lurking around here. And if I scroll down a bit further, we'll find some of these. Here we go. This is holdings and deep link information, all integrated into that stuff. So you've got integration between these holding stores, bibliographic stores, image stores, they could be review stores, they could be rating stores, they could be any store that can be integrated with each other. But what about data that's not in the Tallis platform? What about something like that? Good, old, and I emphasise the old, xISBN, there'll be a new one soon, I'm told. But that data, that's ISBNs, would that be useful to us? And the answer is yes. So how could we augment that data from somewhere? You want to transform that into a stream that the augmentation interface would be happy with. So let's take that URL and use a transformation service. So here's the source of the data. Now what we want is a transform to play with that, and it's a very simple XSL transform. So I'll capture that, and we'll say that's where the XSL lives, and we tell the service that we're expecting text XML to come out and submit that, and we've now got an RSS 1.0 feed of those ISBNs. So having got that, I can then say, let's put that into the augmentation interface of the bibliographic store. So I'll just drop that in there and press return. And now what we've got is those ISBNs now augmented with bibliographic data. So I've just got a collection of ISBNs from somewhere, and my throat will dry out unless I have a squeak from here. That's better. So, bib information's fine. Why don't we augment that with, say, some holdings information? So let's use the holdings augment. And then, well, why don't we add some book jacket information, if I can remember which tab's got the jacket augment on it. Not bad. So what we're now seeing is we're getting bibliographic information with some holdings information associated, and somewhere down here there should be an image lurking down there. I can't remember exactly where it was. Ooh! Never done that before. Okay, we'll move on from that. So that's all very well having it in the XML, but it'd be really nice if I could have that in some format of HTML. So we'll use a different template sheet here, if I can find it. I've got too many tabs open on this window. Can't find it. Okay, well let's go back to the transform service, and good old will give me a transform that I've got working. This time we'll tell it that it's got HTML as an output. Press go, and we should have a really bad piece of HTML. But recapping over that, we started off with external data that we put through a transform to get it into RSS format, piped that through all the transforms, and then went to the transform service at the end and got back into HTML. And if you had a little bit more time, exactly that same HTML could make it look pretty, say like that. And that's done in exactly the same manner. That's part of the Talis Synote user interface, which we open sourced this week, so that people can see how easy it is to do this kind of stuff. Talis Synote, 2 guys, 2 or 3 days to pull up a whole interface. And most of it, they were arguing about whether there's too much Chrome on the logo. I think you'll find. So, anyway, back to the slideshow. So what APIs do you get with Bigfoot Store? And this is all of them. You get an item API, which gives you query capability with paging and XSLT output transform. The nice thing with the way it works is you go to a default HTML page if you don't give it any parameters. You do the search, you can see the results up in the address bar of your browser is exactly what you need to code to. That's the API call you need to make. So I've effectively demonstrated an application there without writing any code except a bit of XSLT. You get the augment interface. Augment recognises elements in RSS 1.0 feeds. If it doesn't recognise it, it doesn't augment it. So you can just pass things through. We've got facets. Requested facets for a query. I didn't show you facets, did we? Let's quickly dive over here. And here is the facet interface for the UK Bib Store. So I'll search for this bloke Harry Potter that seems to get everywhere. And we'll say we'll have the, say we type in it, you can see I rehearsed this, title, date and author. And here is the facet information from that store. So here's the top 10 facets for title, top 10 facets for date, top 10 facets for author, that you can build your application around. You can see what they are in the XML, and if you want to drill a little bit further, you can go to the HTML output and say, here are those top 10 facets for title, date, etc. If I wanted to browse those facets, I could drill down and see we've got narrower, and if I go down in date terms, we're drilling down through those facets. Up at the top, the query is evolving as you would place it into your application, the same way that the API call is evolving at the top of the screen. So before you write a line of code, you can step through the whole application to find out what you actually need. Back to what I was talking about, we're going to have OI and PMH as a standard interface. It's coming, like everybody else. I'm not going to give you a date, but it's close. You've got the ability to configure these stores, so tune them, work out what fields are in there, how the facets are there. I mean, for a big data, facets like title, date, author. For images, it could be size, shape, or source. On-demand stores are coming, so you should be able to log into the platform administration interface and say, give me a store, and then you can start loading your data in it and playing with it. And oh yes, the transform service, which is part of the standard platform, which is all part of the same sort of things. It's built into the OSINT query at the moment. It will be built into any of the outputs that deliver. I'm going faster than I thought. If I've got 5 minutes left, I will slow down. So it's built into the item query, so you can transform on the way out. It will go into augment, it will go into the rest. So some of those steps that I was going through to transform data will actually disappear into the standard API calls. So what are the possibilities? With a nod to Casey and his WP outback, what happens if I transform the output to have WordPress compatible tags on? Well, you could get something that would look like this. Let me go back to my original search screen. Here we go, search for Harry Potter. But what I'm going to do here is pull in a transform that a guy called Ian Davis, who's on our team for delivering this stuff, put together one afternoon. So we'll put this transform in here. We'll say that the content type is going to be HTML and press the button. And this is exactly the same API calls I was doing earlier on. We're just transforming the output, but tagging the data to pick up style sheet tags that WordPress will give you. So if you want to change your format, you just pick a different style sheet and pick another one and pick another one. It's the same APIs all the time because all the rendering is happening right at the last minute at the highest level with CSS rendering that's going on in there. So back to here. Did I mention the 20-minute union? No. That was going to be another presentation here, but Rob was really chagrined that he didn't get chosen, so he's videoed it. There's a screencast that's gone up overnight using those APIs that shows you how to build a union catalogue in 20 minutes using those APIs, and it's at that web address. It's also on the Panlivers blog. Find out more about these APIs. Documentation is coming online. It's coming on slower because I'm here, not back there doing the documentation, and it will be available in tdn.talis.com. So that was my presentation, which what we're trying to say is by building APIs to be designed for the guys that are going to consume them, you're going to make their lives so much easier. Thank you.
Questions? We have time for questions.
There's a lot of, like, all those transforms.
Yeah.
They're all kind of like joins, I guess. You're joining different kinds of data together. Like, what kinds of identifiers do you use to match?
The identifiers are the ones that are like obvious for the type of material. So ISBN is a classic identifier for book jackets and all sorts of things like that for wrapping bib information around. But because the Bigfoot stores can hold anything,
yeah,
it will depend on what store you're going through as to what the identifiers are.
Okay.